till you die. Life is short, or some may say. What else is there but to rock it away? The lights of the hour, I tune in the shower. Never a flop, there's no reason to stop. I got my own guitar, I know the chords. I play my cigar, laying flat on the floor. The east and the west, the battle won't matter. Only the music can settle the score. Rock till you die. Rock till you die. You die all alone, then journey to found. So rock till you die. Yeah, bones reflecting my eyes, and when they eat my flesh, but I got the power to win all the hours to rock my life away. The sound of the crowd, the creak of the bones, I play it so loud with my mates or alone. It don't really matter if my world should shatter. I hold it together in honor to stone. Rock till you die. Rock till you die. You die all alone, then journey to found. So rock till you die. Rock till you die. Rock till you die. You die alone, then journey to found. So rock till you die. Rock till you die. Rock till you die. You die alone, then just like the clown. So rock till you die. Rock till you die. Rock till you die. You die alone, then journey to found. So rock till you die. Rock till you die. Rock till you die. Rock till you die.
Oh, hi, audience. What's up? It's Greg Sestero here to introduce you to the True Blue Riffcast, where they talk about amazing movies, bad movies, and everything in between. So you're listening to the True Blue Riffcast. Enjoy it.
Hey, thanks, Greg. This is the True Blue Riffcast, and this is the #1 Riff Tracks podcast in the world. I am Jeremy, and I am joined, as always, by...
What's up, everybody? I'm Dave. How you doing? It's very
How's it
cold
going, Dave?
outside.
Yeah, it's
So I'm
about
not
to be
out
pretty
there right
cold
now.
here,
If it
too.
wasn't so dang cold. Like it's winter or something.
Yeah, go figure. So, Dave, how's it going? Aside from it being really cold out there.
It's going okay. For some reason, I have Kickstarter open, and it has like all recommended for me. And I'm just gonna do some live clicking. What's Mina the Hollow? Oh, I know what this is. Okay, Edgy sent me this. Edgy Berserker, our good friend.
Yes.
By the same people who make Shovel Knight, which I'm a big fan of. Mina the Hollower. This looks like a fun game.
Oh,
Too
yeah,
bad
I
it's
did
already
see...
made 10,000% of its goal.
Jeez. The only thing I have backed right now is Hand-to-Hand Wombat.
I
Which
don't
is a
like...
new board game from the guys who made Exploding Kittens.
Yeah, so like I have a policy with Kickstarter now, and it's basically based on my own experience with doing my own Kickstarters and supporting other Kickstarters, and particularly Riff Tracks Kickstarters, is that people tend to treat Kickstarter like it's a store.
Yeah.
And I ran into this when I did Kickstarters for Storybook, is that you have to promise them lots of stuff that's got nothing to do with what you're doing. And the Kickstarter, the appeal of it is that if, like, you don't have a lot of money and you want to do this big thing, then you can go on Kickstarter and raise some money. But they sell it that way to the content producers, but to the other place, it's kind of sold like, look at all these great prizes you can buy. And it becomes, and that was a big problem with Storybook, was fulfilling some of the physical rewards, and it became, I ended up taking a loss on a lot of it, and I can say this now that it was 7 years ago. Lots of people have forgotten that, like, some of the physical goodies that were like in the upper levels never got fulfilled. And I even said this once a few years ago. It's just like, I just haven't forgotten about this, and people wrote me back saying, we completely forgot about it. But the thing is, like, I didn't want to be like some of those people who Welsh on their who just like take the money, and then, like, whatever happens just doesn't materialize for whatever reason or another, and people get mad at them and they feel burned and all this. RiffTrax is really good about fulfilling all of its obligations. I think that's because it's like a corporation and this and that. But for individuals, it's really kind of it's I think it puts more on them than they know what they're in for, and it can be kind of, and speaking from experience, it can be very, very stressful. So I will only back. I mean, I'll back RiffTrax always, but I only back certain kinds of projects that look like they need help crossing the finish line. And if they've already crossed the finish line, they have like 10,000% of whatever, and they're backed by like a major company, then I won't really like, well, you have all your money. But I'll back, little tiny projects that need the backing. But if things don't pan out and I don't get my goodies, I'm not gonna get mad about it. It's really for the artist. But
speaking of getting goodies for and RiffTrax being good about fulfilling all their stuff, they just sent out the email in case you didn't see it. If you guys backed at the high enough level to get the physical media for Hobgoblins and Amityville, they said that those should be shipping out next week sometime. Also, we should be due for the announcement soon. I would hope, I would imagine. Usually it's around this time of year, so make sure to keep an eye out for that. And of course, like we did last Kickstarter, I was going to say last year, but I caught myself. We did do a special 2 years ago. Yeah, we did do a special episode based just on the Kickstarter, and we were actually recording it when they hit the goal. Like, it didn't take very long. And we were just like astounded at how fast it was going up. Yeah. So this year we will hopefully be able to do a live show right here on Twitch. So if you're not following us yet, make sure you follow us. That way you'll get the notification when we go live. We also tweeted out on the podcast Twitter account at TBRiffcast. So if you're not following that, make sure you're following that. Another way to know when that's going to be happening, if you want to support us a little bit at the same time, you can go to patreon.com/TrueBlueRiffcast, and you can sign up there to be a patron, and we will, of course, be posting it there as well. Now, today, in a little bit, we are going to be talking about the Wings Hauser classic, Mutant.
But not just that.
Not just that. We'll also be talking about the other Wings Hauser classic that's basically the same movie and was at one point a RiffTrax title, Nightmare at Noon. We'll be discussing that.
It still is kind of a RiffTrax title.
We'll get into
can't
that.
Buy it. Yeah.
And that is going to lead us into another discussion on another day. And we'll talk about that more in a little while. First, though, we need to take a look at the weekend box office. The number one movie, Tom Holland in Uncharted, which I've heard a lot of mixed things about. Then we have a movie called Dog, which opened at number 2. That's about two former Army Rangers, Briggs, played by Channing Tatum, and Lulu, a Belgian Malinois, the dog that a lot of people think is a German Shepherd. As they're racing down the Pacific coast to get to a fellow soldier's funeral on time. That sounds like a nice uplifting film. And then in at number 3, back up a spot, Spider-Man No Way Home. 4th place in the box office, Death on the Nile, dropped down from first place down to 4th place. Thank you for that, Dave. And then Jackass Forever dropping from number 2 down to number 5. Yeah, I don't know. Dog does not seem like a movie that I would enjoy watching too much. Just seems like it would be sad all around. And that's a big no.
I don't want to
thanks.
see any of those movies, except maybe Jackass.
Yeah, and we talked about that last week.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Spider-Man No Way Home is the only one that I have any interest in out of that. I never played any of the Uncharted games, not out of lack of wanting. I just didn't have that system to play them on.
It's a game?
Yeah, it's like there's been like 3 or 4 of them, I think.
Oh, on like what system?
PlayStation 3 and 4, I think, is what they were on.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't know how many of them there were. I never played them, so I can't really tell you.
I'm old, so I have a hard time getting into like video games made after 2003. So that's
Yeah, unless it's Mortal Kombat, right?
yeah. Oh, dude, I love Mortal Kombat. How did you know?
I don't know. It's funny. I actually had a really good conversation with Edgy Berserker yesterday because Capcom announced Street Fighter 6, but that's not what we were talking about. We were talking about the Capcom Fighting Collection, which has like all of the Darkstalkers games that they ever released, and Red Earth, and of course Super Street Fighter 2, and the Gem Fighter, and the Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo game, which has me completely stoked. And we were talking about how we both have to buy that game on day one, and maybe we'll end up playing it together online. Yeah, they did that yesterday, I think. Yeah, it was during some Capcom Fighting Championship or something. I don't even know. All I know is I got a PR email from them, and I saw the one was coming to Switch, the Fighting Collection, so I'm very excited for that. And now it's time for what's become one of my favorite segments. And that's what the hell is James Wen doing?
Yeah, James Wen's tweets. Jimmy Noodle tweets.
Yeah. Movie head picks, of course, we always look at these. We've had some interesting paintings. This one is just kind of a nice one. It's James.
I don't like that he has a happy family. I just want to say that at the outset.
Well, in this picture, his son does not look very happy. But it's James, his son, and his fiance. I'm not even going to try and pronounce his son's name, because I know I would just say it very, very poorly and probably offend somebody in the process. And then, actually, I'm going to like this tweet, and I'm going to like this tweet because this one's hilarious to me. James Wen's son loves Birdemic because his dad said, hey, kid, hold this
DVD.
Hold this Blu-ray, and I'm going to take your picture. You kind of point at it. What's that say? Hang on. I got to try and read what this says under. I don't remember how to zoom in on my browser because I don't ever do it. I'm so used to like pinch zooming on my phone.
Yeah, like we all have.
Oh, it's like
Command
giving me
plus.
weird issues. Command Plus. I don't have Command, Dave. I'm on a PC.
Oh, Control Plus
Alt?
then.
It's like it's making the Twitter interface bigger, but not the picture. I can't get close enough to this to read it. Something is love Problume.
Love
I don't know. Anybody in the
Problume.
chat? Can you guys read that any better than this?
Love Problume. What the hell are you talking
I
about?
can't. That's what the picture says. Copy image. Let's see. We're gonna drop this. We got some live shenanigans happening here, folks. I'm gonna be dropping this into the old Photoshop here.
I could say some swears.
Oh, you don't have to say any swears, Dave. All right, let's see. Let's see if I can get this in here. Oh. It's a good thing I didn't just print screen because I have both monitors on and it likes to take a screenshot of both monitors at the same time when I do that. It's kind of annoying. All right, let's see. It says Paul is love Problume.
Paul is love Problume.
Paul is love Problume. And then
I
it
don't
says,
even know what you're saying anymore.
I don't know. I'm looking at the shirt that his kid has on, and it's got like this weird like bootleg. Hang on, we're gonna do it this way. We're gonna cut this. We're gonna come over here. We're going to paste it here.
This is what we're spending our lives doing. This is
yeah.
our lives. This is what we've decided to do with our lives, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, now you guys can probably see it better in the chat. It says Paul is love Problume, and there's
We're both
Snoopy.
over 40, and we know that our time on Earth is very limited now, but this is what we've decided to do.
This is, yes. So there's a picture of Snoopy, and it says, it's weird how it even says Snoopy, because there's like 2 parentheses, and then it says Snoopy next to it. And that's like Peppermint Patty, and looks like it's maybe supposed to be Linus on the other side. I don't know. But there you go.
Good bet. I
Paul
mean, like,
is
if it's not
love
Linus, then
Problume.
it's rerun.
Yes. Well, and I am definitely going to tweet this out with no context. Just this picture from the official podcast Twitter account. Paul is love Problume. There we go.
Paul is love Problume.
And now it's tweeted, and
That should be the name of the episode.
Paul,
oh no, wait, you already
there we
have
go.
it. What?
Well, I was gonna. It was a suspicious looking squirrel, but I can change that.
Paul is love Problume. Yeah, that's gonna be.
Paul.
That is gonna confuse some search results.
Problume. There we go. Paul is love Problume. My kids are gonna see this written on the whiteboard next to the computer, and they're gonna be like, "Did Dad have a stroke earlier?" And I can just back that up and say, yes, I did indeed have a stroke earlier. So there you go. That's what the hell James Wen is up to. I feel like we should have like some sort of a
Yay.
stinger for
when
that
are we
or
gonna
something.
get this stupid movie? As long as we're talking about this a-hole.
It said coming soon. We were supposed to get the trailer, and we haven't even got the trailer yet. James, come on, James.
Yeah, James.
Give us the trailer,
You
James.
giant pile of garbage crap. you poo garbage man.
Boy, I tell you what, if that doesn't bring in some people, Paul is love Problume. I don't know.
Let's get him on the podcast. I will
I would
pretend I
love to.
don't even know him.
I tried. I sent out, he friended me on Facebook, and I sent him a message, and he replied with the wave emoji. So I haven't gotten like an actual response, but
Here, hold on. Okay, this is going to be live. I'm going to do it from the same email thread where he threatened me
No,
6 years ago.
don't do that.
Yes, let's do it.
Because then he'll never come on.
James New
Oh,
Gwen.
Dave.
James New Gwen.
Sometimes
That's
he
how you
just
spell
can't-
it.
He just can't leave well enough alone sometimes.
No, that's right. No, I'm not going to do it.
Good. Good. I would appreciate that. So today, you know what? I'm actually going to go back to this because this works good. Is what we're talking about today, folks. Right here, the Wings Hauser masterpiece classic Mutant from 1984. Also,
1984.
Yeah.
Are
Also
you
with what?
serious?
Bo Hopkins, right? That was the other
Yeah.
the other guy in that movie with him. Also the other guy in the other movie with him. The other
wow.
movie that's basically the same movie as this.
I just found out something because I assumed that these were both shot in the late 80s, and Nightmare at Noon looks to me like it was shot in the early 90s.
Nightmare at Noon was filmed in 1986 and released in 1988.
Yeah, it says 1988, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
So they made these some significant amount of time away from each other.
Yeah. 2 years. They made them 2 years apart. But Mutant, of course, again, 1984. It was originally released under the title Night Shadows.
Okay.
There was a different movie in 1982, a science fiction horror movie that came out that was titled Mutant. And that title got changed to Forbidden World. And then this Night Shadows got changed to Mutant when it was released on VHS.
Oh, it's one of those.
Yeah. Wings Hauser, Bo Hopkins. There's not really a lot of, I guess, big name people in this one. In Nightmare at Noon, they had a couple other recognizable.
George Kennedy.
Yeah. George Kennedy from The Uninvited.
Yep. They had the albino man.
Yep. Yep.
I watched Nightmare
Byron
Noon for
James
the first time last night in years, and I was just like, "Oh my god, this is pretty bad."
I did. I did enjoy the riff. I think of Nightmare at Noon more.
Oh yeah, they're both excellent. I mean, they're both
really good
riffs. Yeah.
And they're both basically the same movie, and I know we kind of mentioned that before, but they're both about these two guys coming to town. And in Mutant, it's two brothers, Wings Hauser and whoever the guy who played his brother was. And in Nightmare at Noon, it was Wings Hauser and Bo Hopkins and I think
lady.
It was his sister, or his wife or something.
I think it was his wife.
They came in a Winnebago, and like the biggest thing I remember about that, because I did not rewatch Nightmare at Noon like Dave did, but the biggest thing I remember is the whole bit about microwaving croissants.
Wings Hauser hates. He's right. Wings Hauser in Nightmare at Noon is the world's biggest douchebag. He's driving a Winnebago, and his wife brings him up. I don't remember his wife's name. Brings him a microwave croissant, and he takes a bite out. He's like, ugh, yuck. How many times do I have to tell you I hate microwave croissants? And Kevin or Bill says to be like, at some point you would, if you are that opposed to microwave croissants, you'd stop buying microwave croissants. And and in both these movies, in both Mutant and Nightmare at Noon, Bo Hopkins already exists in the town. In Mutant, he's the sheriff.
Who gets demoted to citizen toward the end.
Yeah. And in Nightmare at Noon, he's just like this dirtbag drifter.
Yeah. So anyway, it's a zombie movie. Basically.
Well, they're both zombie movies.
They're both zombie movies, but I mean, we are supposed to be technically talking about mutants, so but it's a zombie movie, it's from chemicals from some
plant.
Some plant. They're like, I can't even remember what they call it. My brain just totally stopped on me. Some institute, some southern, because they make a comment about southern hospitality on the sign. It says, please be, or please keep out, and they changed it to like, please keep shot or something. Like somebody graffitied over it to something dumb. Wings is kind of a jerk in this one too. And the first scene we see him and his brother are driving in their convertible, and first of all, Wings is wearing headphones, completely like ignoring his brother.
Turn the radio on, yeah.
Right. Well, maybe it doesn't have a tape deck. Maybe the tape deck was broken, and he really wanted to listen to that new tape that he bought.
You really want to listen to some Springsteen on magnetic tape in his Walkman?
No, he wanted, either that or he was listening to that Purple Rain, you know.
Yeah. What is this, Ready Player 2?
Oh, don't. Please don't. But anyway,
that's a Ready Player 2 reference. If you want to read that book, don't.
Just don't. Oh, man. But his brother's like, I'm lost. Do you know where we are? And he just starts talking about how he's falling asleep at the wheel, and he like lets go of the steering wheel, and he's still flying down this road, and all of a sudden here comes a pickup truck coming the other way, and he's all the way over in oncoming traffic, and some pretty decent stunt driving. They had a pretty close. I mean, it was a near collision there.
It was a very near miss. Yeah,
it looked good. Yeah, and that's about the only thing that looked good in this movie. But
so
then,
we know that Wings Hauser is a raging psycho.
Yeah, and so they're driving down the road, and all of a sudden here comes that pickup truck behind them, and they basically force him off the road down into a ditch, and then they got to walk the rest of the way to town.
Oh, can we talk about the best line in the history of riff tracks?
Yes,
coming up.
Please do.
Okay.
Yes.
So, I think they're hitchhiking, right?
Yeah, they're trying to get a ride at this point.
And so this guy pulls over and is like, "Sorry, I didn't see you there." I think it's Kevin who says, and this is even in the trailer. I remember it from 10 years ago. Like I was tweeting dick pics at Taylor Swift.
I sent you that when it happened when I was watching it today. I know I sent that riff to you. I love that. That's easily the best riff in this movie. And like Dave said, it's one of the best single riffs like of all time from Riff Tracks. It's so good. It's so good. It
was the golden age of riff tracks, man.
Yeah. And that's part of the reason why we decided to talk about Mutant. But they start walking through town. Once they make it there, it's nighttime. They're trying to find the gas station, and they find a bar instead, and they're like, I don't think this town has a gas station. And Wings is just like, well, let's go get drunk. And as they're leaving the bar, or when they're going in, does Mike leave the bar? Is this when he goes into the alley? Because he sees the guy walking, and then Josh goes into the bar. Yes, because then they see the sheriff in there, and after that is when his brother comes in, and they're talking about the dead guy that he found in the alley. And but the same guy who ran him off the road is in there, and he's gonna make him eat some glass.
Yeah, I was gonna get carve his face up real good.
Yeah, right by the multiple traitors flags hanging in the bar. Which lets you know where this movie's taking place. I mean, there's not much left to the imagination after the people that we've met and the flags.
And everybody, like every small town in the South is filled with violent, raging psychopaths. Don't forget it. It's not like you're right to fear the South.
And everybody there. Anybody who lives in the South. That may be listening to this. It's like them ragging on Fort Worth every chance they get.
Yeah, it's like, gosh, but like no, it's like I notice all those Confederate flags. It's just like, why are there so many Confederate flags? It's like, is it some kind of remembrance holiday thing? Is it like,
No, it's
is
just
it
the South.
it's just the South. I've been to the South. Like, I don't see that many Confederate flags.
Well, this is like a little.
that many.
This is like a little backwoods one stoplight town in the South, so they're extra Southern.
Yeah,
you
so
wanna-
it's
if you wanna call it that.
well, it's Jefferson Davis's birthday.
Oh boy.
Welcome back from the edit, everybody.
So they get stuck in town. They
And they
stay
get into
the
this
night,
fight.
and the brother gets pulled under the bed. In a hilarious
Oh.
hilarious scene. I
We
love
need to
that
talk
scene.
about one more thing from the bar.
Yes.
When he was gonna carve up Wings Hauser's face,
Yeah.
and Bo Hopkins stops him, and the big drunk Southern man drunkenly rehearses exposition, being like,
Yes.
"Yeah, that's right, Sheriff. Drink them blues away. Forget about how you got that little girl killed in the big city." It's like, be like, Randy or whatever his name is, like, "I thought I told you to go on home." Then Bill says, "Be like, if you try to kill these boys 2 or 3 more times, I might have to consider an arrest."
Yeah. He's sitting there and he's just like, bribe. Like I think that was Kevin.
Yeah.
Bribe.
Oh no, it's like, I don't hear anything hitting the floor. Bribe.
Bribe. So they stay at a bed and breakfast, and I mean obviously we're skipping over some meaningless stuff that happens in between here. They stay at a bed and breakfast, and the brother gets pulled under the bed, which and then they go in. Wings Hauser's looking for his brother, and he's like, he wasn't in his room, Mike. And the lady who runs the bed and breakfast, she looks into the brother's room and sees the one shoe on the floor, and then just smiles and slowly turns away. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of sinister looking.
Well, the monster got him.
Yes, the monster under the bed, who turns out to be pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody in this town ends up
Everybody in this town is a zombie. They're
zombie.
daywalkers.
except for the hit guy that ran him off the road at the beginning. He shows up towards
at the very
end.
end. He ends up being like the ultimate villain at the end, even though all these zombos basically take over the town and kill
Mike. That's a great
Mike
running
dies,
gag, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mike. It's usually Kevin who chimes in with that at random points. Oh man, when everybody's turned except for Wings and the school teacher, and at this point the sheriff is presumed dead. Because we see him in kind of a bad situation, and then we don't see him again. The school teacher finds a kid in a bathroom, and while they're hiding in there, a bunch of the zombies come in, and I love the jokes they make about this part too, but she's barely hanging on to the kid, and the zombies are trying to pull him out from underneath the bathroom stall that they're hiding in, and
they should have got him.
yeah, they did. They just yoinked the kid right away from her, but they make the joke. They're like, "I'm just gonna loosely hold your arms so you easily slip out of them," and then they're like, "You know what? I'm just gonna push you down," and they grab the kid and pull him out, and they start surrounding him, and they're like, "Oh, they're gonna pink belly him to death." And I'm like, if only that were actually what was gonna happen to that child.
Yeah.
And Wings jumps in, and that's when we get those super wings. And which I love that line.
Yeah.
The ending, of course, has Al, who's been hiding in the gas station while Wings and the school teacher, I'm trying to remember her name.
It doesn't matter. Girl.
Like Heather or Holly or something like that.
Some 80s cheerleader's name, yeah.
Yeah. They're making gasoline bombs so they can, blow stuff up. And then Al comes out of like an office or a bathroom, I don't even remember what it was, and he's got a shotgun. And so he's pointing the shotgun at the two of them. And, of course, he already hates Wings Hauser's character from the very beginning of the movie. But they're looking like all hope is lost and they're going to die too. And then here comes the sheriff with some backup. And everything's fine. The end. They're just like, Sheriff, I thought you were dead. And he's like, so did I. And, yep, that's the end of the movie. Like, again, the movie just kind of stops.
Yeah, that's a running theme. Oh, something's going on in the chat, Jeremy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you might want to.
Oh, thanks, Dave.
I'm a great co-host.
The mask is stuck on Doggy. I had to get it off of Doggy. Off
no.
of, you know which Doggy I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
the room Doggy. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Josh is enjoying himself at least.
Yeah, but I'm such a great co-host. Everybody, I'm actively sabotaging the podcast while we're doing.
Okay, now I got to get my headphones situated so I can actually hear what's going on, and I can't see the microphone because the nose on the Batman mask. In case you're listening to this after the fact, folks, Dave has redeemed one of my channel point rewards, which is just I'm Batman, and where I have to wear a Batman mask that I got from it was the Frank Miller Batman Returns, Dark Knight Returns. Graphic novel.
I had to turn down my monitor so that it wasn't getting double Jeremy, and so I could unpause the channel. I usually don't do this podcast with the laptop in front of me, but it's too cold for me to go outside. Which is probably good since you can't hear all the background ambiance.
Yeah,
but this is the first time I've ever seen. This is the first time I've ever seen Jeremy.
This is not the first time I've had to put this on during the podcast, but
oh my gosh, that's so great. Anyway, Mutant.
This movie overall, it has that feel of a mid '80s low budget horror movie. Like every '80s low budget horror movie had this same look to it, and Mutant doesn't disappoint in that aspect of things. We get the I don't know what word I want to use here. The ambiance of it or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Ambience. Just the feel of it, I guess.
Just that overall 80s-ness. And they even joke about that at the very beginning, too, when they're driving in. They're like, it's too much 80s.
Too much 80s. They make a similar joke in The Last Slumber Party when the boyfriends show up at the party. And he's like, the 80s are here.
Yeah. Oh, man. The other thing that I really want to mention about this movie. Thanks, Josh. Josh says that he's got so many channel points that we can do on Batman a lot.
Yeah.
I swear next week he's going to make me just wear this mask the entire time. How many? Because I have to wear it
how long?
5 minutes.
Oh, that's all?
That's all. 5 minutes. I could do it for longer.
I wasted
if I
1,000 channel points for that.
Yes. The other thing that I really liked about this, they do something special over the end credits to this.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
the rare VOD appearance of a Rift character played by the one and only Connor Listoka, and that would be
the famous we miss him so much Disembodio.
Disembodio, the guy that we never really hear from too much anymore because we don't get enough MP3s.
We don't get MP3s.
We do get them. We just don't get enough. We need more.
Yeah.
I mean, and I know
I
we've
will
talked
pay
about
more
this
for them.
plenty of times in here.
Rift Tracks. I know, like a year ago, you guys asked to be like, "Hey, we like doing these, but would you be willing to pay more?" And every time I have an opportunity, I say, "Yes, I will. I will pay like $10. I'll pay. I'll pay the same amount. I don't care. Just give us more MP3s."
Yeah. All right. I just changed the channel point reward for I'm Batman to 10 minutes. Okay. So now I can be Batman for longer. And I'll keep it on because the 5 minutes just ended, and Josh says that he's got enough points to burn. If you want to try anything else. No, thank you. I don't mind it when I'm doing regular streams, but they're conspiring against me, folks, because I'm the only one who's on camera here.
That's right. Okay, but
yeah, Mutant. This is another one that is available on Rift Friends. So if you haven't seen Mutant yet, and you do have the Friends thing, and don't necessarily want to drop $10 right now or whatever, you can check it out under Friends, which is always a nice thing.
Yes.
So you can still watch it. You can still check it out. Nightmare at Noon, however,
is not available at all.
It's not available at all. I mean, it is if you purchased it back when it was actually available. But you can't just do a search for it. We learned this this morning.
Yeah. We had a little bit of a thing because for some reason I thought that it had been completely taken down. I have reasons why I think this, but I think it would be in poor taste for me to say why. I know we say a lot on this podcast that Rift Tracks doesn't talk to us, which is true, and it's not. They don't talk to us much.
We don't really get a lot of insider information. It's not as much as we'd like to be able to get. To be honest,
I think that's what we mean. And back when the Rift Wiki was a bit of a thing, I got an email from someone at Rift Tracks. I'm not going to say who. But they're like, hey, we need you to take down the Nightmare at Noon entry on the Rift Wiki. If you could do that for us, please. And I was like, okay. So, and soon after that, Nightmare at Noon went off sale. I hope I'm not. Yeah. So but we happen to know, like, if it was in your archive, you still had it. Now, titles on Rift Tracks that are not available for sale, they won't show up in search results.
No, even if you did purchase them back when they were available.
Yeah, they won't show up. So we thought that, and we did a couple other ones that we know for sure aren't available anymore. Megaforce and the other one that makes me very angry.
The other one that we're both extremely bitter about. And we will eventually get into that.
You want to talk about it today?
You know what? Let's do it. I'm going to take this off first because I need my glasses on. But
okay.
Yeah, we were debating earlier whether or not we were actually going to talk about this today. But I'm now that I'm thinking about it again, I'm getting fired up and riled up, and I want to talk about it again.
Oh, last week, if you guys were here last week, and Jeremy just like suggesting that I think about it, I just like, oh, right, that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so you search for these titles, Megaforce and this other one that we're going to talk about here shortly. They won't pop up, but they'll still be in your library if you purchase them back in the day. You just have to like what I did is I sorted my library alphabetical, and I sorted my library alphabetical, and I just like went to like the T's and the N's and all these other places, and they were right there. The
Now, I
only
wonder if you
one,
search in your library, if you actually search, because there's that search on the side
because
there.
there is another function. I can do that. Here, hang on.
See
Let
if
me
it
here.
comes up
Search
that way.
library for all keywords. Nightmare. Already got it up. Oh, it's right there.
Okay, so it does come up that way.
So if you search in your library, just not the regular search function, you should be able to. Let me see if it works with Megaforce. Okay, it works for Megaforce. Yeah, so there's another search bar. It's to the left of your library. When you're actually in your library, it says search for a title by keywords.
Here.
Okay,
I can do this.
It's a different search. It's a different search function than the other one that's up here. That's like right under catalog offers, all that
right
stuff.
Here.
And
Oh, geez, that's
what was the other one?
Wizards of the Lost Kingdom.
Yeah.
Maybe I can't show it because it's not
Okay,
over far
Wizards
enough
of the
on my
Lost
thing.
Kingdom does show up. Now, the only one we happen to know for sure doesn't show up is Troll 2.
Well, at least we think.
If you bought it, yeah. We think. Now, the reason we're not sure is because I have all of the feature-length VODs and MP3s. But for a long, long time, I resisted getting Troll 2 because I just wasn't interested in it. I'm not terribly interested in Rich Kayenka. And like I would have gotten it a lot sooner if it was a 3-riffer deal, if it was Mike, Kevin, Bill. But it was Mike.
We did talk about this last week when we were talking about what we would like to see for live shows. I think that's when it got mentioned that this would be the perfect opportunity for them to do a 3-riffer version of Troll 2. Because for reasons that we won't get into on here, Troll 2 and Jack the Giant Killer Live are not currently available. What was the other one? There was another one that had...
No, actually, Jack the Giant Killer Live is available. I mean, it's not available to buy.
If you already purchased it is in there.
Yes, it's right there, Jack the Giant Killer Live.
What was the other one that had a thing before it from the same place? Was that Plan 9 from Outer Space? That had the Grain and Feed Expo dumb fake thing in front of it. Originally,
I honestly have no idea.
I don't know if that. I don't think that was set up as much as being in conjunction with that other reason, but there's a very good reason why Jack the Giant Killer Live is currently unavailable and Troll 2 is gone. But we're not going to talk about that because it's a touchy subject.
It's a very touchy subject. But
we will say another title that is disappeared, and we apparently are never getting it back through Riff Tracks. That's Wizards of the Lost Kingdom. That riff was literally available for 2 days.
Now I have it.
It went up on Friday. And by Sunday, it was gone.
Here, let me see. Let me get the exact release date here.
And there's a particular reason for that. And
we have a theory. I mean, do we know this for sure?
We don't know it for sure, but I don't know what else it could be.
Okay, so this was released on March 11th, 2016.
2016, and then. When did they do?
And then like 2 or 3 days later, like less than a week later, it was not available. And it's like, that's weird.
Yeah, and then
like, are we even bothering to hide our disdain? Are we even bothering to hide our disdain for the new Mystery Science Theater 3000?
No, we've already talked about how much we don't. How much we don't like it.
Okay, yeah.
Season
so like
11.
in the early days of the podcast, we just pretended that like it like we just didn't bring it up. But I
Yeah.
think like in recent, I'd probably say within the last year, we've kind of let it slip out that, because it caused a big ruckus and we didn't want to drive anybody away who liked the revival. So we just kind of kept to ourselves. But sometime in the last year, we've just like, hey, look,
We've dropped that pretense.
we are not fans of the revival.
Yeah, and if
At
you
all.
are,
Like, at all.
that's fine.
Hey,
We don't
that's
have
fine.
that
Cool.
against
Yeah.
you, unless you're one of those shitty guys who, and I normally don't swear, sorry about that, who likes to, after the new season came out, season 11 of Mystery Science Theater, I was in a few Rift Tracks and MST3K groups that were like for both.
Yeah.
And I left them because
it
of
got so toxic.
It was, if you said
It was like
anything
Star
about
Wars, man.
not liking the new MST3K, they like crucified you. Like you would
It
get
killed our
yelled
fan
at.
base, man.
You were told that they would tell you that you were not allowed to dislike the Netflix revival because so many people, so many fans put their own money into it. And it was
I put my own money into
disrespectful.
it, and I wish I hadn't.
It was
I wish I
disrespectful to everybody who made the show and everybody who helped make the show happen. And like Dave said, it was like Star Wars fandom or, any Rick and Morty fandom or anything like that. Any fandom anymore really is just super toxic. Except, surprisingly enough, the Rift Tracks fandom is mostly pretty good still. And I really appreciate that about you guys.
Like,
but
the Misty fandom for a long time was like my home. Like they were like my people, and then suddenly, like it was 2017. It turned into a rabble of bickering pricks, and it's just like I don't like this, and it's the main reason why I don't do fandom stuff in the Misty community anymore.
Yeah. It just got really bad, and we kind of figured out with Wizards of the Lost Kingdom because they have fans own all the intellectual property. Yes, that's how they definitely feel like it. But Wizards of the Lost Kingdom disappeared off of the Rift Tracks website.
Almost at once, like less than a week later.
Yeah, it was literally like 3 days, and it was
so
gone.
weird. It's like, why did this happen? I mean, I already got it.
I was gonna drop a link on Twitter, like, hey guys, make sure you check this riff out, and I went to get the link, and it was gone, and I'm like, well, what the heck? And so I sent a message to the Rift Tracks Twitter account, because at this point I wasn't really conversing with anybody who really worked there, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's gone. It got removed due to licensing issues." And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Oh,
and then it shows up in Mystery Science Theater season 11, along with the sequel
and its sequel. So,
so I wonder what the licensing issues were.
Yeah. See, now I have.
That's not why I don't like Mystery Science Theater season 11, but that definitely added to my overall distaste
to dislike, where they just like take things away from other people to be like, no, like we're the only game's going to be in town. Now I have another story about this that kind of makes me believe that the the new MST3K people had a hand in this, because they kind of did some sneaky underhanded stuff now I was told these things in confidence, and I'm not going to say who this was done to or what it was.
Yeah.
But if I told you who told me this, you would know who it was. There was another enterprise that was going to get a deal to do something very like MST3K. Okay, and I'm even like, I feel awkward even saying that because people might figure it out with another company, and this other company also had dealings with Cinematic Titanic. Okay,
Yeah.
So that deal went through. That deal, like suddenly they're not interested in this other property anymore, and that it's like it went cold. Everything just went away. About a week later, like this same company buys the rights for Cinematic Titanic and releases all of their old stuff. So I kind of get the feeling that, I mean, like there's more to it, but it seems very, very much to me that people involved with the new Mystery Science Theater 3000 are using their influence to edge out the competition in this tiny little niche market.
Yeah. You know,
where
I
there
got
should
worried
be room for everybody.
when the announcement for the second season of the Netflix version was announced, when they did the, where I guess it was leaked, the movies that they were going to be doing. And one of them was Ator, the Fighting Eagle. And I'm like, oh, great. Are we going to lose that
that's
one
right.
too?
This is for season 2, yeah.
Yeah.
Or
then...
no, you can't say season 2. It's season 12. Shut up. The creator said it's the same show. Like, no, it's their season 2. Come
season
on.
12, The Gauntlet. Because they were already halfway to being fired by Netflix. But yeah, I was worried that we were going to lose that, and then I saw that when they were doing their live shows, one of their versions of their live shows, they were doing No Retreat, No Surrender, and I'm like, oh, lovely.
Yeah,
One
so
of my favorite riffs of all time.
It was
they're
around
gonna do
this
a version
time
of it.
where Jeremy and I started to all these things were happening, and we were worried that like our favorite thing, Riff Tracks, was going to get edged out because, like, I don't want to say anything because I know they're probably fans of the new MST3K that listen to this.
Yeah,
and I don't want to put them off. We love you guys, we do, but we don't have good feelings towards Revival at all for these reasons. Not just because it was bad, but it was, but because they're bad faith actors.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it's mostly. It started off as being a quality thing for the new relaunch. But then it turned into so much more for us.
But then it turns out that a lot of them turns out to be colossal pricks. And I'm not going to say any names, but I think probably the biggest one is Joel Hodgson. So
I'm not going to say anybody, but it's him. Yeah. But we're not going to get too much deeper into that. But suffice it to say, we were both very upset when that came out that they were doing Wizards of the Lost Kingdom after it had been pulled from Riff Tracks. Just simply because that to us says that's why it's gone. Is because they paid more money for it to get it, and they want, oh, hey, by the way, we want this to be exclusive. Because they had a ton of money to do that.
Yeah.
Thanks
they had
to
$6 million. Yeah. What did they do with all that money? What did they do with it?
I don't know, because they needed what? They got how many more millions with the last Kickstarter for season 13?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I didn't like for you mean for their app, for their theater app, whatever
Their app
that thing is.
Well, because they needed $6 million for the movies, and then if they got another like $3 million or whatever, it was gonna
Was
be
that a Kickstarter?
Yeah, they did season 13 as a Kickstarter because we were both kind of going
very
off on that too.
Yeah. Just like I haven't been following any of that, what their new Kickstarter or what their. It's like, why do you need $6 million to do this? Why?
Yeah, I don't.
What the hell?
I don't know.
How are they? What are they spending that money on? Because, like, it sure isn't a good looking set. That's for sure. But
No, because it looked just like the same set. I mean,
no,
the same quality set.
They got to pay off. They got to pay off Will Wheaton and Jerry Seinfeld and all these people. You know, there was a. Yeah, Will Wheaton. There was when I was still doing Storybook, I did a parody of the new Mystery Science Theater 3000. That was supposed to close out Volume 3. But at that point, I was like, at that point, I made it a Patreon only, and I didn't include it in the final book because attitudes back then were so toxic and so bad that if I put that in Volume 3 of Storybook, then just I thought everyone was going to hate me, that it would be inflammatory. But now I'm going to put it back in if I ever do like an omnibus of Storybook. But one of the jokes is that what's his face, Jonah, that his name, Yellow Suit Man goes into like they have a celebrity cameo room, and the joke is Jonah's like, boy oh boy, I wonder which great relevant celebrity is going to make an appearance today. And he's going to this celebrity cameo room, and it's like Will Wheaton, Jerry Seinfeld, O.J. Simpson. The possibilities are endless.
Yeah, they made over $5 million on the newest Kickstarter.
On their season 3. I'm not going to say season 13. Sorry.
Yeah,
it's not
for
the same
Make
show.
More MST3K. They for 12 episodes, $5.5
like, just
million.
let it die.
They got $6.5 million total.
And okay, you know what? And I'm going to say this while we're saying it, as long as we're saying all these things on the podcast. There, at one time, like before the revival, there was a growing, like amateur, like riff show kind of community, where anybody who wanted to do their own movie riffing thing in any kind of like experimental way, they could do that, and there was lots of room for everybody to want to come in and succeed. Maybe not financially succeed, because it's that's a tough sell.
Yeah.
But creatively succeed and find an audience, and and to just like have your own niche within the larger riffing community. And it was great. And then the revival came back, and all anybody wanted was new MST3K. And all these other like little tiny shows, like this universe of riffing shows just got completely wiped out.
Yeah,
they're not there
everybody
anymore.
That
it's
had
not
turned
a thing.
to them to fill in the gap.
Yeah,
which
to
is,
fill
which
the
is
void.
Really
Yeah,
sad, because there's plenty of
Like,
room for everybody.
It was becoming a genre, and it's just like, and like everyone had like their own little fun little like communities and groups, and each show had like its own audience, and it was great. And they had like crossover stuff, and it was like the most fun thing, and it doesn't exist anymore.
No, and it's kind of depressing. Like, when they announced that, oh hey, they're gonna bring back Mystery Science Theater, it's like, oh cool, more riffing to enjoy. Like we've already got this whole community here that, you know, like you said, we've got all these other guys that are just kind of doing it on their own, doing their own thing, and they've got their own good little followings going on. And it's like, cool, we're going to have even more now. And
nope, not anymore. They killed it.
nope,
It's done.
It just killed everything and
MST3K
made
or
a
nothing.
lot of people bitter about the whole thing.
It made me bitter.
Yeah.
Like I had my own riffing show, SRD's movie night, and that's done. That's over.
Yeah, you used to do those at least somewhat regularly.
Yeah, I used to do 2 or 3. I remember 2016. I did a bunch because like the first 3 years I did it, I only did it one a year because I was a graphic design student. And I did Jesse James Meets Frankenstein's Daughter. That's still on YouTube. I did The Alphabet Conspiracy, which is also still on YouTube. Ben and Arthur, which got taken down by Sam Barovich himself. But the thing was, like, I can't hold that against him. Like when that happened, I was like, oh, that's too bad. It's going to be a lost thing. I didn't like lose my mind the way I did with James Wen, because like Sam Barovich has a point. I was putting his movie up. Although I'll tell you what I did do. Back then, I was like, I actually contacted him, and I said, "Hey, I want to do this," and he wrote me back, and he said, "I don't care." like it's all
he
over
obviously
the internet.
changed his mind.
Yeah, he changed his mind, and he DM'd. I got 2 copyright strikes from that dude. I got one for the trailer, and I got one for the
trailer. Nice.
For the trailer that I made, and I got one for the actual movie. So that's kind of lost, but I still have it here. It still exists. It was the best of my solo riffs. And then I did a fan film,
the Mega Man
fan film. Yeah, the Mega Man fan film with my friend Vinny Ferrari. We did Devil's Advocate. We did Star Trek Insurrection with my other friend Chris Roberts. We did Star Crash, which is I was so mad when I saw that the new MST3K did Star Crash, because they did it way worse than my crappy little riffing show with like 10 fans. And it's like, oh no,
don't horn in on me now too. Come on,
and
guys.
Then me and Edgy did Cobra.
Nice.
Edgy and I
don't
later
think I
did
saw
Mortal
that
Kombat.
one.
Me and Edgy did Mortal Kombat. Me and Edgy did that movie with Hulk Hogan. No
Which
Holds
one?
Barred.
Oh, No Holds Barred.
No Holds Barred.
God,
Yeah,
you know
me
what?
and-
That's another one that I would love to see an actual like Riff Tracks release of, because I watched that movie again a couple years ago, and
Yeah, it's bad.
I forgot how coked out everybody was when they were making it.
Yeah. And I saw written by Vince McMahon and Hulk Hogan. I was like, oh my God. Are you
I remember
serious?
seeing that in the theater when it came out. I was so excited. I'm like, oh, Hulk Hogan's making a movie. I gotta go see it, Mom. And
then you get this.
I was almost as disappointed as when I saw Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah. What else did me and Edgy, also one of my favorite ones me and Edgy did was a riff of Final Fantasy VII Advent Children Complete, which is a Final Fantasy VII movie.
Yes.
Yeah, we riffed that, but we both love that movie. Love that movie, so it was like a loving roast of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, but
way better
no, all that's
than
gone.
Spirits Within ever was.
Yeah. But anyway, all that's gone now.
Yeah.
All that's gone now, and it's all just like give Joel Hodgson $6 million to brush his ego. You know,
to make 12 episodes of Mystery Science
to make
Theater.
12 episodes. Are you out of your mind?
And an app, because it was like they had to raise another like 1.3 million to get this app made. And I'm just like, my first thought was Riff Tracks does not spend anywhere near that amount of money on their apps.
Riff Tracks didn't have an app for like 16 years.
Yeah. And now they have 2.
They have 2?
Well, there's the one on Roku to actually watch your stuff, and then there's the mobile one that lets you sync your MP3s.
I have it. I actually have the RiffTrax app on my phone, but I hardly ever use it because we talked about this last time. I'm the king of syncing.
Yeah. He's the king of movie syncing.
That's correct. Yeah.
Sorry about that. I will never sing again. Okay.
What about? So now that we're done complaining about how the revival killed movie riffing for all intents and purposes for everybody else but them
and RiffTrax.
Yeah. So it's like when these guys stop doing it, the genre is just dead. It's just over. It's not coming back.
I mean, there are some other things that are offshoots that we're getting. I mean, we've got the Mads doing stuff, Frank and Trace, and Mary Jo Peele has a riffing show that she does now.
Her very own show.
Cool.
Yeah. She posted about it in True Blue Riff Tracks.
So there are other things. Of course, they're all MST3K and RiffTrax related.
Yeah, they're all but unless I think my biggest problem is that what the revival established is that unless you are legacy connected, to Mystery Science Theater 3000, get effed. Like, we don't want anybody else doing this. We don't want anybody else using our legacy to further their own creative goals, which is really, really shitty. And now you all know the source of my bitterness.
Yep. The full on, there's the full story. As Paul Harvey
did not
used to
expect
say,
to be talking about this in detail today, ladies and gentlemen.
We were going to
talk about
the rest of the story.
Rest of the story. We were going to talk about Megaforce.
Nope. We're going to talk about why we don't like the MST3K revival in detail for the first time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Right.
If this was 5 years ago, we'd be getting so many angry emails. I remember when they first released the trailer, and back then, so many the huge percentages of my fans, my friends on Facebook, were Misties, and I saw the trailer, and I was like, oh no, this is bad. This is real bad. And I knew that if I said that, I would get skewered. So I thought that I would be I thought I would be stealthy about it. And I posted, it's like, oh man. It's like, I wrote something to the effect of, that feeling you get when you see something that's going to be a total train wreck, but you can't say anything about it. And people read right through that.
Yeah.
And immediately, the angry comments, and then,
don't you love social media?
Yeah, so and so I ended up just deleting the post. I don't need this, and that was the beginning of the end for me in the Misty community.
You know, I saw the trailer and I'm like, okay, maybe. And then I started watching it, and what's the first thing that pops up on your screen? Will Wheaton. And
Will
at that
Wheaton,
point,
yeah, just right out of the gate.
And that literally, you're just like, oh no.
You're like, no.
Not him. Not like, I felt like that character from The Matrix. Not like this. Yeah, it wasn't great.
No, I gave it more chances than it deserved, honestly. I was like, I remember I was talking to you about this, I'm going to try to watch the season again. Maybe it'll be better this time.
Nope.
And it never was. I think I thought that green robot at the end of season 1, where it's Rolf the dog, but only he's a green robot.
Yeah.
I thought that was really clever. But too little, too late, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I would say other things about members of the cast if I didn't want to get called names. Like you can't say things like
Don't say it. Just don't. I can't edit it out. Don't say it, Dave. Restrain yourself. I think I need to end the
But
podcast
you know who I'm
before he
talking
goes
about,
on. Yes,
right?
I do know exactly. Yes, because we've had
And she's
this
horrible.
conversation. We've had this. Oh my God, Dave. We're gonna end it right here, folks.
Okay.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to hold him off much longer. Oh my God.
Okay, all right. No,
If you enjoy
we
the
don't have to end it.
podcast, we probably should. Anyway.
We don't have to end it. We don't have to end it.
Okay, as long as you
All right,
control yourself.
I'll control myself.
Yeah, you better. Because as soon as you don't, I'm hitting end stream.
As soon as
gonna be off. I'm gonna.
Anyway,
cut your mic.
Megaforce. Do you want to talk about Megaforce?
Megaforce is a shame.
I love Megaforce. but like the
Megaforce,
fact that
and
it's not
such a
around
shame.
anymore is just.
And okay, I do have to mention something interesting. After it got pulled from being able to purchase it on rifftracks.com, it has shown up at least twice that I know of on Amazon Prime as a free Riff Tracks to watch with Amazon Prime.
That is weird.
Since it was pulled from purchase, it has shown up on there a couple times. And so that gives me hope that it might come back fully. I really hope it does because it's such a good riff, and people had been wanting them to do Megaforce for so long, and they finally did it. And then it was up for a while, and there have been others that have disappeared temporarily that have come back after a while. The Apple was gone for a while. Galaxy Invader was gone for a while, and in fact,
Cradle
I
Lake
didn't
Monster
know.
was gone for a while.
I didn't know. Yep, I didn't know if. I think that one was gone when we decided to talk about it, and then we're like, wait a second.
What, Cradle Lake Monster?
Yeah, wasn't that one that was that, or was that the Apple? One of the two when we
It might
talked
have been
about
the
it, then we
Apple.
realized that it wasn't available for purchase at that time.
Yeah.
I ended up ordering the DVD for the Riff of Galaxy Invader after it disappeared off of the site because with these
I'm pretty
things,
sure that's back now.
it is, yeah. But you never really know, if the licensing is going to get pulled completely or if it's just like a temporary thing until they like renegotiate or something. Like with Doctor Who and the Daleks and Doctor Who Invasion Earth 2159 or whatever it is. Those disappeared for a long time. Those were gone for quite a while. And I didn't think those were ever going to come back. And then they announced one of the other missing riffs that we will never see again, which is so depressing. The Riff Tracks Live, The Five Doctors.
Oh yeah, that's.
They said they weren't going to
there's-
be able to do a VOD of that one, and so everybody was expecting it just the jokes. And
Never got it.
that never happened. But when that was announced, right around that time was when they brought back the other two Doctor Who riffs. So we
Right,
did
because
get
they
those
got
back.
good with the BBC again. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if it was like just like some weird BBC contractual thing, which probably what it was because the BBC is dumb with their stuff. But it's really odd that we haven't gotten a just the jokes of that, unless it's not like available to purchase. Like the Five Doctors, it's got to be like on DVD or something, you would think. But if it's not available, then I could see why they wouldn't release a just the jokes, because how are you going to watch it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
that one
for a
is
while,
very sad to
there
me.
was a. Do you remember this? There was a link floating around of someone had like gotten the like saying be like Riff Tracks Live, the Five Doctors.
Yeah.
And he thought someone had just like taken like somehow gotten the raw file from Riff Tracks, or
They got the audio from the live show,
So,
and they put it over a digital
the
just
act,
a
the
file
movie,
of
yeah, and it's terrible.
Yeah, because it's like they took
it's not
recorded
good,
it on their phone, the audio in the. I'm not gonna tell you how we know this, but we know.
Yeah. But yeah. So it's like, well, I mean, it was
I'm
bad.
sure
So
that's
so
still
like you
floating
get
around
this
there
thing,
somewhere,
yeah,
but
yeah. It still is, but it's not worth compromising your no pirating policy towards Rift Tracks to go ahead and do that, because that's the only time I've ever done it. And after I did it, I felt like a jerk, and I also felt like I just felt skeezy, and it wasn't worth it,
no, it's not
even
even
for a
worth it.
completist.
No,
Yeah,
no. Again, we're just making assumptions here.
yeah.
But I think that's the only current one. Those are the only ones that are gone. Troll 2, Wizards of
And
the
the
Lost
Five
Kingdom,
Doctors
Megaforce, and the Five Doctors. Those are the only
and
ones
Nightmare Noon.
and Nightmare Noon that probably will not be coming back.
I'm pretty sure Nightmare at Noon is not coming back, because
No.
it seems to me like there's some, I don't want to say animosity, but like between like the rights holders weren't very happy.
Well, for Rift Tracks to
That's what
send
it
you a
seems to me,
message
yeah.
saying, "Hey, please remove this from the Riff Wiki," because like it is no longer going to exist. Like that's a pretty big thing right there.
Yeah,
For them to contact like a fan thing and
that's
be like,
why-
"Hey, could you remove this from your list of stuff?" Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't personally know of any other ones that are currently unavailable that should be. I don't know. I have
Well,
no
the thing
idea.
is, the only way to do that is to like go through all 500 of them one by one.
Yeah, you'd have to go through your library and the catalog itself.
Yeah.
And see what is no longer
And see what
there.
pops up, like Bunko.
Bunko, this no longer exists. So hopefully, some of those will eventually come back. Hopefully, that'd be nice. But with stuff like this, with rights and licensing, it's it could go one way or the other very easily, and there's no way to know. So
Yeah.
unfortunately. But yeah, I think that's probably going to do it today.
Yeah, I think
We
that's
can at
it.
least
I
end on a
got
better
nothing
note
else.
than we were going to.
Yeah,
originally. Let's go back to around the time when Mutant was released. Let's take a look at something else from the golden age that we can talk
From
about.
the golden age of Rift
That we
Tracks. That's
haven't.
right.
Another one that disappeared for a while. Now that I'm looking, was Attack of the Puppet People. That one was not available
that's about
for a
24
while, and now that's back.
Really?
Yeah, because I remember when that one vanished. All right, let's see.
Oh, what's the name of the one with Christopher Lee? It's a black and white movie. Drawing a blank.
Which one is that?
And he's like
man.
a college professor or something, and like there's a woman that goes to a town, and we see her in her lingerie, her battle armor.
Man.
What was that?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Here, hang on. Let me see if I can do a thing here.
City of the Dead?
Yes.
Yeah. City of the Dead is a good. It is
It City of the Dead. I just did a search for Christopher Lee on Rift Tracks.
Yeah, City of the Dead is good. And City of the Dead is also available on Rift Tracks Friends.
Oh,
How about let's do City of the Dead for next week.
You want to do City of the Dead? Okay.
Unless we get our other release, which
That
we didn't get it this week, so
yeah.
It's almost a guarantee that this Friday will be it. Let me make a note here on my whiteboard so I don't forget to watch it. City of. So,
Uh-oh.
yeah, puppy's waking up, ready to come out of her kennel. So Josh, there you go. There's your homework for next week, since I know you like to watch what we're about to talk about. So, City of the Dead, and maybe we'll talk about that and the new release. Of course, we might just be talking about something different altogether if they make their Kickstarter announcement soon. That will be the next
that's right.
episode. If they do that before our normal next episode, then that will be when we see you. And if not, our next regular episode will be the other movie, the new release, and City of the Dead.
City of the Dead.
So,
Okay.
there you go. You can watch that. If you like the podcast and you'd like to support us, if you can support us in any way, shape, or form, you can subscribe right here on Twitch. And you can also go to Rift Tracks. Oh my gosh. You can go to patreon.com/TrueBlueRiffcast, and you can support us there for as little as $2 per month, just to help us out a little bit. It all goes right back into the podcast, either with purchasing riffs or even if it's riff intros for us, like the one that we had from Greg Sestero from Cameo on today's episode. And you can also follow the podcast at TB Riffcast on Twitter, and I am at PB and Awesome on Twitter.
And I'm Dave. Happy 222222, everybody.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Jeez. 2222222.
2222222. Tuesday 2222222. It almost works if you ignore the 0 that's in there.
Yeah.
In the date.
Yeah.
But hey, we're having fun here. We like to have fun here. Yeah. You can check me out on Twitter at dchadwickauthor. Check me out on the web at davechadwick.info, and go to Amazon and buy all my books. You can buy Monkey and my audiobook Happy Valley. My other audiobooks will be finished up soon, and we'll talk about those then.
Yeah. So until next time, guys, stay safe out there, be good to each other, and have fun with Rift Tracks. And we're gonna go raid Ammo. We're gonna raid Ammo.
I have
Love.
no idea who that is.
It's one of my friends. She's actually one of the other mods on the Facebook group for Rift Tracks, the official
Nice.
Rift Tracks Facebook group. So we'll
no one
show
has
her
to
some
be a
love.
mod.
And I wonder why. No, I'm just
Yeah.
yeah. So we'll see you guys next time right here on the True Blue Riffcast.
Rock till you die.
Rock till you die.